The shit is officially hitting the fan, and I couldn't be happier. I tell you, man, what a fun read this is. Gourmet number 50, 5-minute time limit. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on this, the epic, the tantalizing, the 50th chapter of Toriko. And this is really a good one here. The last one, of course, saw us with Toriko, finding out about, from his sort of Gourmet Cells talking to him, at least that's what I took from it, that he has a 5-minute time limit to devour something worthy of him being able, then he'll evolve, right? So it's basically just kind of running on just running on fumes until then. And he definitely put some hits and some dents into this GT robot, and after the apparent death of Rin, I definitely was excited about that one. So I was excited about this chapter as well. And excuse me, I don't know why I keep burping over here. So that's where they're left off. That's where this one picks up. And prior to us kind of going right back into the thick of things, we get a few pages of a nice background over here. We find out about this Gourmet Hunter in ancient times, and his name is Acacia. And Acacia was considered almost to be like a deity, like a legendary, like a god, amongst men. And anyway, he went diving. We find out the kind of history of the Gourmet Cells here, and he goes, at least as we know it, and he would dive down into the ocean with this sort of, I guess, mechanical submarine that he had, and find various fish and things down there and whatnot, and then bring it back up and actually eat it, right? And it was cool how it explained it, because it explained that he ate this one undersea fish once, and he ate it, and he felt like that way, and he even says, he's like, I haven't truly lived until right now. It was so good that it was so mouth-wateringly tasty that it just brought him to tears, right? So he started studying and researching all of this, and the neat thing is then we wind up going and seeing this jellyfish where the Gourmet Cells supposedly come from, or where at least where we've been led to believe that they come from at this point. And this jellyfish, what would happen is it can get devoured by another fish, right? And it winds up regenerating itself, but it also the fish or the wildlife, whatever it is that devours it, and it's different in each type of creature, animal, human, whatever, what have you. When they devour these Gourmet Cells, they evolve in different types of ways, and then they can regain those regeneration capabilities. And ultimately, it's really just kind of being able to, a lot of it has to do with the regeneration and being able to repair himself and everything like that. So I thought it was very cool, and it was very well done the way that it was explained, and it takes up the first 4 or 5 pages of the chapter. So although it does kind of take you out of the action and the thick of things, it's neat to kind of get a little bit of a glimpse into sort of the background of this really cool world, that we are in, and where some of these things came from. So again, it was explained very well, and actually they wind up. The evolving of the Gourmet Cells is basically when you become deprived, nutrient deprived. They call it autophagy. I have to figure out exactly how to pronounce it over there, but the bottom line is that when your body does not have enough nutrients and winds up going and starting to kind of starve itself, it winds up feeding off of its cells. But with this process, he has like this. For instance, now he has this 5-minute time limit. If he can eat something, that is worthy of being able to consume and hopefully evolve, that can evolve his Gourmet Cells. And it's kind of like that next level transformation. It's like level up. Any of you that play RPG type games, that's really what it makes me think of. Is just kind of like a level up in the character actually evolving. So then we're brought back into the thick of things and the thick of action, I guess you would say. And, Starjan is actually kind of impressed with what's going on over here. He's like, the Starjan-controlled GT robot, but I always say that just because it's not actually Starjan that's there. But Starjan has taken some hits and taken some damage, and he explains that, listen, I have this body is starting to crumble and this and that. It's not nearly as strong as I am, so now we know that Starjan himself is this force to be reckoned with, but he's not there right now. Starjan, you got your little robot there, buddy, so if you were there, maybe it would be a different story, but you're not, so fuck you. Anyway, now that I got that out of my system, he's just, he's just a real dick, he's a real matter-of-fact just dick. That's what we'll call him, a dick. So he goes in, and the battle starts to rage on between him and Toriko. And as we could tell, from all the hits that he took in the last chapter, he did take some damage. But he also is smart enough to realize that this autophage that that Toriko is going through to evolve him, that there is a time limit to that. He's like, your cells are devouring themselves, and once they run out of that, like you're pretty much just gonna go extinct. You know what I mean? You're just gonna die. And he's like, so can you beat me? The question is, can you beat me before that happens? And Toriko and him start going head to head, and he goes to try to open up. They're clashing, and he goes to open up his beak thing to shoot, and then Toriko's just like, shut your beak, and then he headbutts him. And I thought that was great, But it doesn't stay like that for long. The Stargin controlled GT robot does wind up getting the upper hand on Toriko after a while, starts to kind of wear him down. And then it goes and it says that Toriko consumes anywhere between, I believe it said anywhere between 100,000 and 1,000,000 calories per day. If I'm right on that one, I believe that's exactly what it said. But let me see if it says it over here, because. And then as it's going through over here and all this is happening, yeah, he does. He actually consumes. That's awesome. Anyway, so when he deprives his body of that, then it's not a good thing for him. If he misses even a snack, they said it can have severe consequences for him. So as I said, they're going back and forth. Toriko nails him, the headbutt, the snack. But then he kind of starts going, and you see this sort of almost like a flashback, an inner monologue type flashback, where he goes and sees that sort of gourmet cell beast, that projection, that oral rage that he can pull out, and it's just like devour something, And I love it. He's just like, the more worthy it is of being devoured, or savored, the better. So obviously the better. And we're all thinking the same thing. We're thinking about, find that jewel meat, So I ain't like he's gonna eat Komatsu. So Komatsu's not a delicacy anyway. So and the GT robot is just a robot. So to me it's kind of the obvious choice. They're eating that fucking mammoth. But I just thought it was kind of cool. And then as it goes, back and forth over here and whatnot, you get, and then the more worthy of being savored, the better. You get that again in the next page. So it's really just kind of beating that into your head, like, eat the jewel meat. Find the jewel meat if you can, Toriko. But he, Stargin goes, or this GT robot that's controlled by him, he winds up, getting a couple of good hits on him. Toriko goes and tries to go pull. He's like 5, 6, no 7, and he's going to try to go and pull one of his Kugi, his spike punch, and just runs out of juice. Simply runs out of juice, man. He has no gas left in the tank, and and then Stargin knows, and he's like, see, so this will be the end of you, Toriko. And he's kind of fascinated by him, and almost has like a little bit of respect for what's going on with him, but at the same time, he's like, whatever, man, I'm gonna wear you down, I'm gonna beat you, because that's what I'm gonna do. So it's cool. He winds up jacking him up with this, hitting him with this, one of his laser shots or whatever he hits him with, and that's after he hits him with this mixer punch. But anyway, when he hits him with his laser thing, it goes right through Toriko's chest and out his back, and just looks like a not good, deadly freaking hit over there, So anyway, for those of you, most of you though, I'm sure read along with either the volumes or online with me, so you do see these. It's probably not totally necessary that I hold things up, but sometimes it just kind of makes me involved a little bit more and makes me think of some of those delicate, finer points I don't miss as much. But really, it winds up ending up, Toriko goes flying, hundreds of feet away, right through a wall, through this. You're thinking, oh, this is not good. So Toriko's laying there, bloodied, battered, and beaten. And then it's great because prior to that, when you first saw him hit over there, I saw the gleams that they did, even in black and white. You can see the way they did the little gleams, and I was like, oh, he's in by the jewel meat, right? And then boom, all of a sudden just, oh. Actually, I think that's the Halo music, but whatever. You get the point. It's kind of that just, this piece of meat over here, if Toriko devours this sumbitch, he's going to be able to go toe to toe with this GT robot, this Stargin-controlled GT robot. So I kind of hate saying that, but at the same time, I don't want to refer to it as Stargin because it's not Stargin. It's just a robot controlled by him, which is still very deadly, but from what he said, not as deadly as, and that was actually my stomach getting hunger over there for jewel meat that doesn't exist. So my chapter question though is, what are your thoughts on the beginning of the chapter with the flashback and this Gourmet Hunter that was kind of revered as this deity, this god almost, this Acacia, and him actually finding the gourmet cells and just the explanation of it overall. I know that I've asked the question before, what do you like about some of the in-depth explanations, but this particular one obviously has to do with the main character as well as just in general. A lot of the main characters, and kind of it seems like what the struggle is between many different people, Gourmet Corp being one of them, of course Igo, looking for these gourmet cells and then having these gourmet cells in like the Four Kings, and I'm sure some of Gourmet Corp, Stargin probably, has them in them. So it's definitely a central plot point to the whole story, at least that I can see thus far. I haven't read ahead, so I don't know. 100 chapters from now could be an entirely different focus. But right now, from what you have gathered and what you have read and what you have seen 50 chapters in, what are your thoughts on the explanation of gourmet cells and how they evolve based on the creature that they're in, that devours them, the types of foods, that sort of thing? So leave your answer to that long-winded question in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching all of you in the next Von Nation.
To see more drawings such as this, must go over to my Instagram or Facebook page. You must.